and welcome to the Autocar show. Now, a while ago, Ford wasn't really cutting the mark in the Indian market. It wasn't really a big player. And then they launched the Figo. When we went in to test drive the Figo, we went in with very little expectation, but came away pleasantly surprised. Well, we're wondering whether Ford's latest offering, the new Fiesta, will excite us as much as the Figo did. Fiesta, you say, hasn't it been around? Well, yes, but it's just got rebadged as the Fiesta Classic to make way for the new one. Now, Ford has been making unique to India cars for quite a while, taking older platforms and carving out cars designed for the Indian needs, like the Icon, the Fiesta and the Figo. This has brought them considerable success, but since they raised the bar themselves, they're upping the ante too, bringing you cars that are their latest models worldwide. It begins with this all-new Fiesta. Nope, this is definitely not a makeover, it's an all-new car. Well, it's a good thing this car looks entirely different because it does share the same name with its predecessor, but it's built on a platform that's won much acclaim worldwide for having tensile steel and boron that make it light and stiff. Now that makes me have great expectations about the way this car will handle, but I'll talk more about that once I get behind the wheel. It's really a striking looking car, especially the front, and it has strong cuts and creases all over, bringing out Ford's kinetic design language, and the steeply raked A-pillar that really makes it look ready to leap into action. The swept-back headlights on both sides of a slot-like grille sit on top of the large trapezoidal intake, which is the focal point of the front. The side profile of the hatch is the one that's eye-catching, but sadly it will not be the one coming to India first. It will be this saloon version. The added boot on this is integrated quite well and does not look out of place, although the heavily sloping waistline creates an illusion of making so much space at the rear that the rear tire lands up looking a little puny. All in all, it's a car that's quite pleasing to the eye and you would like to be seen in it. You can't help but smile when you get inside the new Fiesta because it's so different, it's so modern, it's so fresh. There's this whole wing-like theme going on inside here, whether it's the central console with the sort of AC vents fanning out, or whether it's the instrument pods that have that theme. What I don't like is some of the plastic bits. Whilst the top texturing of the dash is really nice, the underneath bits don't feel as good. Some of the knobs, buttons and door panel bits are really not up to the mark. But there's a lot of features. You have things like cruise control. You have something really cool, which is the voice-activated command. You switch on the central system. You press the button on your stalk. Climate.
Climate.
Fan speed.
Fan speed, please.
Maximum.
Fan maximum.
There you go. Although I think for things like that, it might be a bit easier to reach out and just switch the fan lower. But this would be really useful for your hands-free, for your Bluetooth, for your phone. So there are some cool features inside this Fiesta. There are a load of other features that come with the Fiesta as well. Let's take a look. The front of the Fiesta feels nice and open, and the little quarter glass area in front makes it feel even more airy and spacious. The seats are well bolstered too, very comfortable, good lower back support, good under thigh support, and very comfortable to be in for long journeys. Under the hood, the Fiesta comes with an entirely new set of engines which are making their debut with the Indian version of the Fiesta. It's a 1.5 Ti VCT petrol that produces 108 bhp and a 1.5-litre TDCi diesel that churns out 90 bhp. The diesel engine does have lag and you have to really get the motor spinning past 1800 RPM to get beyond it. But once you do that, it has a nice strong mid-range. Even the top end, it cruises comfortably, never feels strained. But when you do slow down, say at a speed breaker, or if you want to do some overtaking on the highway, you really have to work the gears to keep that motor beyond the 1800 RPM mark. Otherwise, you will feel the lag. Working the gears though is never really a problem because the gear lever itself is in a really nice position and it's a nice positive gear shift for you. The great part is that the engine feels extremely smooth and refined and you barely hear this engine at all. The refinement carries through to the petrol too. I drove the petrol engine earlier, that was smooth and refined as well. It's not punchy quick, but it's got nice linear acceleration. It's responsive. What's really nice about that engine is that it's very, very drivable, especially in city traffic. Even lower RPMs, higher gears, you can just put your foot down and go. The path throttle works well on the petrol engine and the Fiesta feels easy to drive in traffic. Out on the highway too, the engine copes well and never really feels like it's running out of breath. It's decent performance from both the engines, but what's exciting is the figures of fuel economy that Ford claim. It's really the icing on the cake. Now, like most modern cars, Ford have also shifted to the electric power steering. It's hard to believe that this is an electric power steering. It gives you just the right amount of feedback whenever you want. It's nice and light and easy in the city. And yet when you go quicker, it weights up well, gives you a lot of confidence at high speeds. And even around the corners, it points the car exactly where you want it to go. The Fiesta feels solid and planted at all times. The tires grip well too, making this a fun car to drive on a twisty road. Well, if you're someone who loves to drive, you're going to definitely enjoy this car. But this is all up from the front. Let's find out what it's like to be a passenger in the Fiesta. The seat of the Fiesta at the back is narrow, so 3 here are definitely going to be a squeeze. Legroom is also not as much as others in this class, but it's decent enough. The seat itself is low. The window line quite high because of the rising waistline, so you do feel a little hemmed in at the back, plus the seat in front is quite large, so you sort of have to lean out to look in front. But what's really nice is that the seats themselves are extremely comfortable and the ride quality is really good. It smoothens out all the sharp bumps, and whether it's low speed or high speed, it's flat, it's composed and feels really nice in the back seat of the Fiesta. The balance between ride and handling is just spot on. The suspension works really well to isolate you from the road. In fact, all the insulation works really well to isolate the rear seat of the Fiesta from all the outside noise. The only bit of sound that we found was a little bit of wind noise from the A-pillar at speeds above 140. Well, the Fiesta does have one big sore point, and that's the interiors. The plastics really don't feel up to the mark and it's nowhere as near as spacious as its rivals. But it does have a lot going for it as well. It's got a set of engines that offer up performance and refinement. It's got a punchy diesel in the range. And Ford claim class-leading figures of fuel economy and say that this car is a car they're going to make easy on the wallet to run. Well, what we think is the best part about this car is the ride and handling compromise. It's absolutely brilliant, and true to Ford, this is really a driver's car. It has possibly the best ride handling in its class. Well, we think it has all the makings to get to the top spot. Now all Ford have to do is price it right.